Alan says he got a signed contract.
A second one or the first one?
I don't know.
Yeah. Start the day off with some wins.
Yeah.
We got a win today. You want to tell them about Lowe's?
Oh, you can tell him, man. You tell him.
Come on.
You got it.
We got a track. If you've been on enough of these calls, you've heard us talk about it. It's a 15.5 acre track we're getting on the east side of San Antonio, right on Loop 1604. High population area, dense area, right next to a shopping center, right next to an elementary school, across the street from a military base. So just a beautiful piece of property on a main loop that runs around San Antonio. So just crazy traffic. Couldn't have been a better piece of property. We got it locked up for about $5 million, and we got what, 2 years to close on it. So we did 4 6-month extensions for $22,000 each. And we got an offer, or we're getting an offer today. We got a verbal today from Lowe's Home Improvement. So we are buying for $5 million. And if the deal goes through, then we'll double close for 5.9.
There you go.
So not a bad day at all. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm excited. It looks like the deal was getting kind of hairy because the seller wasn't willing to negotiate on price. And the representative from Lowe's was saying, hey, we need a little bit better price. So he lowballed us like at 5.2, and I was like, man, I don't think this guy's going to budge on the price. I said, they know I'm wholesaling it and everything. So I called the seller and I explained to him what was happening. He says, no, I can't move on the price. I can't budge at all. So I just told the guy from Lowe's, I was ready to throw in the towel. I got a little, not heated, but I got a little moody with the seller a little bit. I was like, man, you're going to lose this buyer. There's no more buyers. I said, if this guy doesn't buy it, so I'm just out. He's like, well, I mean, it just is what it is at this point. So the guy from Lowe's like, can you do 5.7? I said, man, he said he's not budging at all. He goes, he's going to lose a $5 million sale or $6 million sale for 200,000. I was like, he just told me yes. And he goes, let me call you back. And then he texts me, he says, okay, we're in for 5.9. Says we'll take it. So pretty freaking exciting, man. That's as of like Friday or Saturday, that's 1.5 years into that deal. So if you've been struggling to get a deal for a little while, yeah, I mean, we've been working this thing and it's probably not going to close, right, for another 3 to 6 months. So, 2 years into a deal, but 900K profits, not a bad deal at all. So there's just so many ways that you can chop up land and different deals that you can do. And though I wouldn't start looking for commercial right now again, because it just takes so long to get paid, but yeah, super huge win for us today. I was excited after so much time.
For everybody here, it was an experiment. It's been a 2-year experiment, and we don't recommend. We do not.
Since the beginning, we're like, look.
Just to clarify, this is an assignment, correct? To Lowe's?
It's going to be a double close.
Double close, okay, just to kind of make sure they don't understand your buy price.
Well, no, I laid it all out for them. I told them exactly what I had it at, everything. I told them I was selling it on behalf of the seller. And I told them we could do an assignment, we can do a double close, we can do anything. I told them my contract price, my timeline, everything. So I was completely 100% transparent with Lowe's.
Okay.
Wait, yeah. So what made it an experiment in particular?
We've never done one before.
So you've never,
We've never done a commercial land deal this size.
Oh, so this is okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't even know what the math is on that, but $5 million for 15 acres. If you guys bring us a deal like that, the answer is no. Yeah. But we had to do it to see what it was all about, because everywhere you drive, you see these commercial properties for sale. So how do you know what a deal is, right?
Yeah. We'll say no to every deal because of this deal. It just takes too long. There's money on it, and like I said, we've experimented with different strategies with minor subdivides on little small tracts of land. We'll do that, but this one was just too extensive. We're just happy to get across the finish line at this point.
Yeah, I guess our philosophy was like, hey, even if we lose a couple 100,000 and a lot of time, at least we understand what it takes to go through a full deal cycle. But yeah, knowing what we know now, nobody's making any money for a year or two on these deals, and I think we got like about 100 worth of engineering instead of maybe like 80 in option money or something like that. Not option money, earnest money, which is coming off the purchase price. But yeah, it was a hell of a ride, and because it's not across the finish line yet, so we don't want to celebrate too hard. But that's like the most positive, news that we've gotten since we've been working on this thing for such a long time. Like several times, we just thought the deal was dead. The interest level was very low. Our mentor that was going to walk us through the whole entire thing, she just kind of bounced. And this is when I told the seller, I was like, man, we're just not going to do it at all. My mentor's out, so we don't want to go it alone. And he kind of like just made us do it. He said, no, you're gonna do it. You'll sell it. Don't worry about it. So he knew it. He let us put it wherever we wanted. So I think we listed it like on LoopNet with Keller Williams. So we had full control of the deal, and that's why we were so interested in it. Is because the seller knew that we were going to bring in a third-party buyer and that we were not the buyer. And he had sold us a 108-acre ranch that we cut up and subdivided, and he gave us 2-year financing, and we paid him off in 9 months. So we were already like in his good graces, and yeah, he just trusted us to get the deal done. And yeah, I think it's going to be a home run deal. It's pretty cool. If I had to do it all over again, I would. Again, because now when somebody brings us a commercial deal, we can be more educated when we speak and talk about timelines, and then of course for your reputation, right? And for our deal sheet, we can say, look, here's one that we put together. We had almost a $6 million exit to Lowe's Home Improvement. So I think it'll be good for the credibility of all of us in this room.
And we know not to do it again. At least I know.
I'm kind of in, you know what I mean? Like if the seller's willing to hold it and take no cash, and he'll let us do the magic and work it the same way where we can market it, we can do whatever we want with it. I mean, especially if the price is great, right? Imagine if we had got this thing for $2 or $3 million and we sold it for $6. It would have been a hell of a day.
So that's the main thing is what made this a deal was the terms.
And the location.
Terms, location, that's what made it a deal. And that, like I said, we'll jump into a lot of deals just because of those two reasons, and price. If you had a really good price, so that's kind of what we want to talk about today. Is the deal's a deal anywhere.
Yeah,
deal's a deal anywhere at a good price. Go ahead, Anthony.
I was going to ask you, if you want to kind of open that up. So we have been primarily looking in Texas, but right now we have so many private money lenders lining up. Then we're just really ready to look for a deal anywhere. Well, we just picked one up in Florida. It looks like we're going to sell it pretty quick. And then we just got another lead on another amazing deal. You haven't heard about that one yet, Daniel. Me and Kyle just worked that one about an hour ago. But I think we got another awesome deal in Florida with a good spread on it. So
I heard about the house.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's what I want. Me and Kyle were talking. Maybe that's what we want to bring up on this phone call. Is that for one, like just news to everybody in this room, if you've been here long enough, we are looking for any deal type now, any asset class at all, and we're not going to move away from big land. It's the easiest, I think, way to capture a lot of equity. It takes a really long time, but I mean, every signature you can pick up 200,000, 800,000, right? Even if it takes 6 months or a year. So we're not going to move away from that. But so we just have so many private lenders right now. We're just ready to buy anything. And of course, we're not going to pick up something crazy. Like somebody sent me today, I think 50 acres for like 6 million. I don't know, man. Like those development deals, they eat too much capital. Right? And we're doing so many developments right now. We got a 200-acre subdivision we're building, putting in 3 miles of road. But that's not how you make money in this business. And if you had a fund or you had a private guy that could, drop 5 or 10 million, then you can do all the developments you want. But if you're funding them out of pocket, or with the smaller private money lenders who are looking at doing, 50 to 250 grand, then I would just stay away from anything development. If somebody sends you 12 acres for $4 million, like just let them keep it. Like you're just not going to make any money for a very, very long time. So if you guys can find stuff that we could flip for 50, 100, 200, 40, anything, and just kind of keep your eyes open for opportunity. Even if you're focusing on big stuff, you still shouldn't miss the opportunity when something small comes across the table. If you're able to recognize it, a deal's a deal anywhere.
Yeah, so we've really opened up our buy box pretty much nationwide. We've been looking at deals all over the place. We almost had a deal come across in Colorado. We're looking at Florida right now, so it doesn't even matter what it is. The deal we found in Orlando potentially is a house for 270 is worth 330 as is. Nothing is being conservative. The ARV on it is like 450. So it goes back to the principle of if anything's an opportunity, we're willing to look at it no matter what kind of buy box it fits. And I think us coming from houses initially, I think we both dabbled in houses loosely, and I know Kyle's done a lot more house wholesales than us. But we're kind of opening up our opportunity box into a lot of different things. And I saw Chris Rude just look at our event. He posted about this a couple days ago. It's that he's agnostic to any type of transaction. It doesn't matter where or what it is. He's open to it if it's a deal. So I think we're kind of pivoting to that just because we have a lot of capital right now. So as the capital comes in and different types of capital come in, you kind of adapt your idea of what a transaction or deal looks like. So I think this is not necessarily a turning point, but just a slight broadening of our scope. But The numbers have to work, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, I
Numbers
was gonna. Sorry, Daniel. Go ahead.
Go ahead, go ahead. The numbers just have to work.
No, yeah, I was gonna say yeah. So let's not. I don't want us to lose focus by any means, right? Because again, like I said, the big land stuff. If you guys got 10 subdivides tomorrow, we'll place capital on all of them, right? So we don't want to move too far away. But as a real estate investor, right, you want to focus on long-term deals and short-term deals all the time. So and that's part of the 10 commandments of this group too, is that where don't lose sight of the little stuff while you're on the way to the big stuff. Because again, like if you're not going to get paid for 6 months or a year, what are you going to do for capital from here till there? So yeah, we just want to just roll that out and let you guys know that we're ready to look at anything, anywhere. If it's a deal, let's grab it.
Angie says, per the Lowe's deal, curious why you shared your buy price with them, wondering if that would hurt the deal in the future if they come back with due diligence findings for a price cut.
Can I touch this one real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll follow you.
I've kind of the one that kind of like been taking the point on this deal, and sometimes Daniel takes point on deals, and I'm like, this is Daniel's deal. I don't know nothing. For one, something that we've experienced doing this stuff when we first started doing these subdivide deals, we would like cut them up and sell them before the seller knew what was going on. Right? So we're showing the property and everything. They didn't even know it. So I found that the more transparent we're getting over time and distance, the easier it's getting. The negotiations are getting easier. So it was very, very simple to tell those, because they were like, wait a minute. After they got far enough along where we could tell they were really interested, they were like, so do you own the property? I was like, oh no, I'm under contract. And they're like, oh, I don't know if Lowe's would do that. I don't know if I've never seen that before, right? And this guy's like the acquisitions guy. They got a broker and everything. And I said, well, just complete transparency. I can put you on the phone with the seller. He knows I'm selling it, double closing, assigning. I said, I don't care how it gets to paper. I said, we can do it any which way you want. Seller's on board. So he's like, okay, well, that makes it really easy then. So they appreciated the transparency and they knew the situation. So I didn't, and we don't like to anyway, to try to like fluff things up and bend the truth and all that kind of stuff. Because then again, like what if he would have like looked a little further into it and their attorney calls our attorney and wait a minute, you guys said you were the owner. Here we go. Right. So I just said, you know what, if this deal dumps, if it doesn't go well, who cares? So we just laid all our cards on the table. They appreciated it. And yeah, they love it. They're in.
Why would you share your price with them though? What's your thought process on that?
Again, because I didn't know how they were going to do it. What if they said, no, we can't do assignment. We're never doing assignment. We've never done that before. It's just not our policy, right? It has to be directly to the seller. And then I lied and said, hey, I was with the seller at 5.8 and I want 5.9. I just told him straight up, here's where I'm at. Here's what I have it for. Because he even tried to lowball today. I said, I need to get 5.9. And he's like, oh, can you guys do 5.2? I said, look, man, I got like 100 into this thing. We got brokers involved. I said, so I'm already shaved down, to a couple $100,000. I was like, so if you knock 700 off this deal, I said, that pushes me way out of the deal. I said, and the deal comes apart. So in the end, right before the deal collapsed today, that was my strong point. The transparency, them knowing my price, them just having all my cards on the table. It made me invincible to negotiating. So he hit me at 5.2. Then he came back at 5.6 and 5.75, and I just kept saying, no, it's not going to happen. We can't budge. So he said, okay, we'll do it at 5.9.
One of the main things, though, is that if he's coming back, mind you, Lowe's has been looking at this property for over 6 months.
Months.
So they've walked it multiple times. They're very interested in the property. I think it was one of these corporate entities are sharks, man. They're sharks. That was them trying to squeeze the deal one more time before they buy it. And that's what all that was. So, and I think in my opinion, I'll find out if it's true or not, but I think they're still beating us down even at our price point, a paying full price for it.
Yeah, if we had it at 6.5 or 7, they probably would have still tried to hit us at 5.9 or whatever. So we probably could have sold it for a lot more, but they just have to just do their company justice and try to negotiate.
Yeah, and then here's the thing, though. I think what their plan is they're such a big buyer, they control the marketplace. Think about this: a whale that comes in and bites, they can do whatever they want. So I think their end game is they're buying this tranche of 15 acres. They only need 9 to 10. So what are they going to do with the other 5 acres? Well, they're going to sell it to buy down their investment into their parcel to make sure they come out clean. So they're a shark in their own right to buy down their interest. So they got to make sure they buy down, they get the best price possible, and then whenever they sell the subjugate parcels of 5 acres, they're going to get the most they can. And it's also the shareholders, because it's a publicly traded company. So you got to understand the game. And to us, we're kind of at their will because we have no other buyers. So we kind of have to take whatever we can get, or we just dump the deal.
That was perfect because they kind of both. I got squeezed by Lowe's and I got squeezed by the seller. Right?
Yep.
They both they were both trying to pull me in two different directions, and knowing that I had no negotiating power, that was a perfect time for me to just throw in the towel. And I texted the representative from Lowe's and I said, "Hey, dude, my seller's out, dude." I was like, "We're just completely out." And he immediately called me. And he was like, "What do you mean? Like, he doesn't want to sell to Lowe's at all?" And I said, "No, he does, but he just wants full price. He doesn't want to negotiate at all. So he's going to lose the whole deal over 200,000." I said, "Yep." "Oh man, I'll call you back." And then he texted me not even 10 minutes later. He said, "Okay, we're in."
I'm almost surprised that at that point in time, they didn't play the whole like, oh, wow, that's too bad. Okay, your deal's falling apart. Great. We're going to go straight to your seller then.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. That's the risk that we run, right? And then here's the impossible part: is that the seller was. We have already had a year and a half worth of engineering into this deal. So if they would have put the deal on me, of course, I'm not going to turn over my engineering paperwork. And I explained that to the seller. I said, "Hey, if you guys are going to try to do this deal, so you're not going to get paid for a year or two." I said, "We got a check in our hand right now." So that's a risk that we did run, and so just fortunately, it seems like everything just worked out great because you don't know if Lowe's is going to be in the market in 2 years, right? They might have found another location, so the seller has to weigh that risk. But yeah, it just worked. All these moves in line perfectly.
All right. Priscilla asked, what would you do to help the inconsistency? I can get deals, but never consistent. I continue to follow the process.
I would say main thing as far as consistency goes is developing a network. I would think is probably the single most important thing that we've done to get it more consistent is to have our hands in a lot of different people's phones and talking to everybody. So we're not afraid to do a deal with anybody, right? This is wholesalers. This is agents. Literally, we're touching everybody. So I know people are like, say, "Hey, I don't work with agents. I don't work with wholesalers. I don't work with anybody." But we took the opposite approach since we came into this business. Is we just started helping and being supportive to everybody and providing good information to everybody. And that's what's kind of helped with our lead flow a lot because everybody hits different cycles in their business, right? Sometimes people are very lead heavy. Sometimes they're very capital heavy. So I think everybody in this room has an advantage because you have us as a capital resource. Like you can lend out our money, right? And if we don't have it on hand, we have private people who we can get it from. So you can create alliances. Thank you so much. You can create alliances and partnerships and everything just based on being support system. So you're networking with other sellers, agents, showing up to meetings, sitting in groups, and you find out that somebody needs to borrow $10,000 or $20,000 for earnest money. Well, that's your in right there. Say, "Hey, one of my partners is a lender, and we get ourselves involved with deals like this. Do you guys have room to take on a partner? Do you guys need capital? How can we help you here?" And if you're always proving yourself to be a resource to other people, no matter what it is, "Hey, I think I might have a buyer for this. Hey, do you mind if I help you sell this? If I can help you sell it, you don't even have to pay me. Like, do you mind if I take a crack at this?" And if people see you as a resource, they start to come back to you for more things in the future. And as you start to develop out that network, I think that's how you start to get even kill across like the lead gen table. Because like I had a guy who brought me a 50-acre deal that I was trying to buy, and it turns out that we had a city council meeting, and the city council was just kind of not on board. They wanted us to go through a couple $100,000 worth of paperwork before they gave us a yes or no on the project. So I backed off the deal, but I was prepared to sign it and put $50,000 refundable earnest on it, and that's the guy that brought us the house today, with a nice spread on it. So I was trying to be resourceful for that guy and help them get that deal across the table. And then he brings us another big deal, a few months later. So I think that's how you play the game, is just reaching out to as many people as possible and finding out how you can provide value.
One thing I'll mention to this too is that bring on the daisy chains. I think we bought a 5-person daisy chain in June or July. Like it was extremely long daisy chain. So we're not afraid of daisy chains. I think we have a deal. I think we have another daisy chain deal.
Hey, yes. Use that as a reference, Daniel. So
Yeah.
the more people that you find making fun of a certain class, like if they're making fun of agents or making fun of wholesalers, all that stuff, then that's probably a good deal source because everybody else is too stupid to network with those people. Like daisy chainers. I don't like daisy chainers. Is it a gray area as far as the legals are concerned? Yes. Is it ever going to stop? No. So get your hand in there, get some money.
Bring on the daisy chains. Let's go. Then the other thing is there are a lot of people in our business avoid agents. I think we bought a lot of deals from agents this year already, where agents are involved. So I think there was a post the other day is like how are you going to separate yourself in the marketplace as you do what other people won't do. And that could be working with agents, working with daisy chainers, working with everybody. What's the best way to get your first deal, Anthony? I'll answer this for now.
I don't know why my phone was on mute and I couldn't unmute.
Go ahead.
Best way to get your first deal, I would say, is to do a JV deal with somebody. How do you do a JV deal with somebody? You find somebody that needs to buy, and it's usually newer people. It's easier. Find somebody that does not have a buyer for their deal, right? Again, find somebody who needs to borrow some capital to get a deal completed. I would say mass outreach and Facebook groups is probably a very quick way. If you're limited on funds, I would just go to different Facebook groups and just start saying, hey, I'm looking for a JV partner. Hey,
there's a lot of money on Facebook.
What I do is I comment on other people's posts and I use it as a lead gen source. So perfect example today. Let me see. Just want to give you guys a bad example. I tend to have a bad memory because I'm looking at so much stuff. I try not to record anything in my brain. But somebody in a group posted, I just did a post on Facebook and it said, attention wholesalers, you can do more deals by having a backer helping with EMD surveys, transactional funding, legals. We can do non-refundable EMD same day. So this is just me just posting on my Facebook wall. You post it on your stories to get more rotation. But again, just offering value to other people. And that's been getting me a lot of inbox messages like, hey, how does this work? How does that work? But somebody posted something in a group earlier. Oh, they said, hey, I haven't got a deal in 7 months and I feel like quitting. How can I find buyers and sellers? So I just commented on the post and I said, hey, I'm a buyer. I can close the same day. Let me know what you have going on. And I'll buy anything that pencils, no development deals, no full rehabs. And that just commenting on that post got me like maybe 5 messages today.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the right even as a new person to come in and say, hey, I'm a buyer. Because can you produce a contract? Can you move the money? Can you get the deal closed? Yes, you have all the resources right here inside of this room. So when you go and comment and say, hey, I'm a buyer, you're not lying. Because we'll send them a contract right now. We'll send them non-refundable money right now. So I take advantage of join as many wholesaler groups as you can, especially local groups. Go to meetups, talk to a lot of people. But yeah, I would just be commenting in Facebook groups. Hey, I'm a buyer. Hey, I have a buyer for this. Hey, does anybody have any land for sale? Hey, does anybody have any deals at pencil, 250 or less? We can close immediately. If you're commenting stuff like that, people will start to reach out to you and say, hey, I saw that you're a buyer. I saw you in the group. And if you feel lost and brand new and you don't want to talk to anybody, say, hey, give me a second. I'm going to start a group chat with my partner. And grab me, Daniel, Kyle, Junior, Mikey. Grab one of us, put us in a group chat, and see if they have a deal. The way that you vet out the wholesalers that have terrible numbers is you say, hey, can you send me the deal that you have? Let me know what you have it locked up at, and plus send me comps. And if they have a real deal with great prices, they're not going to be like, oh, I can't tell you what I'm locked up at. You just say, no, I just gotta know what you're locked up at, so we're not wasting each other's time. Send me what you're locked up at. Send me how much you want. Send me comps. And if it's a deal, I'll buy it immediately. And that's it. If they can't send you all 3 of those, it's probably a weak deal anyway. For somebody that's so confused, they're just going to take you down a rabbit hole and waste all your time anyway.
Yep. And the other thing too is that if you think you're wasting your time, you might get your first deal. You never know. It might be a JV. Nothing wrong with doing a JV your first deal. There's nothing wrong with selling a deal. If anybody's interested in that, we have plenty of deals to sell. That's another way to get a deal. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, and plenty of opportunities to squeeze it. All right. It's never waste time because you'll at least learn. Absolutely. Good job, Jose. No, that's the other thing. Me and Anthony, we cut our teeth doing stuff like this, and we talked to JV wholesalers, we talked to daisy chainers. We've done all the above. So we've 100% learned throughout all this. Wendy says, I'm going to try that. I work 12 hours at night shifts as a nurse. I've been trying to get this going for a limited time.
Hey, I would say, guys, also, look, I always, in my mind, I did network marketing. I did multi-level marketing. I think I did my first company when I was like 18. What's the bottom, like the basis of network marketing? Is you learn something, you learn a valuable skill, you get pretty decent at it, right? At least proficient. You don't have to be an expert. Teach somebody else. You have a cousin out there, you have a friend you went to high school with, you have somebody who's hurting right now, who doesn't even know what the word wholesaling means. They're at home right now, beating their head against the wall, terrified that they don't have money to pay bills, and you haven't even taught them about what you're doing yet. You know what I mean? Like, and I just did it because I've always been like that. Like in college, when I would take anatomy physiology, as soon as the teacher was done talking, I would start teaching my table everything that I just remembered so that I can remember it better, right? So if you start teaching other people in your circle, then you can do a lead campaign, run lead campaigns to a friend, a family member, a nephew, a niece, college kid, a high school kid. You can have somebody so that you're at work helping you with the deals, right? Just if you look at HiveMind and you really think about it and pray about it, meditate on it, we've created that exact same model. All we did was just teach people how to do what we're doing. Everything we learn, we give it immediately to the community. And then there's other people working on deals with us and for us and taking a piece of it, right? Almost everything we do is a JV deal, almost everything, because that's our business model. So if you have people that are out there that like I said, if you just look at your Facebook wall and then look at people just struggling and hurting for gas and groceries, and you see your friends and family out there hurting, like, why would you not be more vocal about what you're doing? Especially if you have no time. If you have no time at all, and you're at work 12 hours a day, yes, start teaching your friends and family. Say, hey, I have this real estate company. I'm brand new. I haven't even got my first sale yet, but I need help. I need help making follow-up phone calls. I'm going to run a lead campaign. I need you to help me fill the leads. Once you have somebody on the phone who's real, send it to Kyle. These guys will fund the deal for us. Like, you have every resource in the world that we didn't have when we started right here inside of this room. So leverage the other people that leverage other people in your community, because somebody needs your help. Somebody you never even thought about, somebody you completely forgot about, will be the best, hardest worker you've ever met if you just show them and give them the opportunity. And then now you have an employee that you're not paying.
So I think we have 2 contracts coming out pretty soon. I know one, I think, is getting signed hopefully today, but I think Zach, who's in the room or was here earlier, I think we got a deal with Zach going, hopefully contracted today. And then we got another deal coming from Tyler Bordeaux. And that's another, and we got a deal with Alan from a few weeks ago. So there's a lot of people in the room. We got to deal with Tanisha. If I go through the chat and the people in this room, we got a lot of people we're doing deals with right now.
Yeah, and I think that's the coolest part, man, because like my cousin works in the dental office, Melissa, right? And she made a giant check right before Christmas last year. She has another awesome check coming in right now. So it's like, how would she ever have learned about real estate or wholesaling if we didn't introduce her to this business, right? So I don't know why people are so quiet about this. I'm excited about it. I love it. If somebody's stuck in a 9-to-5, which I love and respect, I think everybody should have a 9-to-5 if you're just starting in real estate, just at least have that heartbeat of capital coming in. But if you have this secret where these 2 nerds can make $900,000 on a double close, why would you keep that a secret to your friends and family? Post it everywhere. Talk to everybody.
I guess some people get greedy in a sense, where
How?
they feel like if they don't, if they share it to more people are going to get in the business, and then less money on the table. But then people don't realize that there's so much money in the table that that's like the last problem that they have to worry about.
Yeah, that could just be a mindset thing, right? So you read books like maybe like The Secret, The Power of Now, Think and Grow Rich. There's a lot of books that can help you work on your mindset. I never read Think and Grow Rich, but I've probably listened to the audio about 200 times, right? And it took years, but I mean, it's one of my favorite books, and I've just listened to it over and over and over again. So it became kind of part of who I am and the way that I speak, the way that I think. So yeah, if you can just imagine, like, hey, in my mind, again, I was just blessed to have a network marketing MLM background, which people make fun of, which I think is hilarious. Because I mean, one of my MLM friends like owns an island. And he owns a mansion in Vegas, and he has a YouTube channel. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Vegas Matt. He posted on Facebook one time, and it said, people who become good at multi-level marketing are disproportionately better at other people in business. Like, it's insane. So it's that abundance mindset, and then also like wanting to see other people do well, right? And that's something that I was just born like that. Like we were so poor, we had to go live with my aunt and my uncle. We had to sleep on the living room floor, poor. Like we didn't sleep in the guest bedroom. Like we were sleeping by the coffee table in the living room, right? 2 different times.
So Anthony, sometimes instead of putting money in like a down payment or an escrow, you just offer them money directly to the seller.
Right to their hand. Yeah, we can send it to their account, or we'll send it to title, and then title can wire it to them so it's receipted or whatever. It really depends on the deal, the sophistication of the seller, the price. Right, the price is just crazy, and we know we're getting just a crazy deal. We're just gonna send it straight to their Bank of America account, no questions asked. And we'll just title hates it when I do it too. She'll be like, "Did you already send them the money, the EMD? Yeah, it's in their account." I don't do that, Anthony. I know. I know. It just depends how hot the deal is. And nobody does it. My most sophisticated, richest, coolest friends don't do it at all.